everybody. We'll start with Sky Sports and we'll move to Damien Spellman next.
Eddie, full range of emotions, I guess, for you tonight. You were in the Champions League and then the Europa League, and then now out of everything. How do you feel after a night like that?
Yeah, desperately disappointed. I think tough to take at the moment. I thought the lads played very well in that first half, and I thought we were good value. I was hoping the goal would come earlier than it did. Second half, we wanted to try and consolidate that and look for the second goal. Really disappointed with the first goal we conceded, because I think that's the key moment, and we didn't deal with a second phase set play well enough. Uncharacteristic goal really for us to concede. And then the game became very transitional. It was end to end from both teams looking to win. And yeah, we conceded on one of those transitions.
Was there any point of view in the last sort of 10 minutes or so when the game became like that you thought maybe we try and manage the game and take the Europa League, or was it all guns blazing, wanted to qualify for the Champions League?
We wanted to qualify for the Champions League, yeah, for sure. I think that was very much our intention before the game and in game. I'm not sure in that moment you can take that will away from the players. And if you look at the goals we conceded, they've come from mistakes that can happen in any moment, whether you're being proactive or reactive. So, yeah, of course, I take ownership of that, but I'd much rather have the intention to go and attack and to try and win rather than the other way around.
And I guess you feel for the players after that, everything they've put into the campaign. Had you won in France a couple of weeks ago, you would have ended up third in the Europa League. It's been a valiant effort from them. Do you feel they've deserved more?
Yeah, I do feel for them. I think it's been, of course, you see the sort of the game on the pitch. I see everything that goes on behind the scenes. I've seen what the players have given, how committed they've been. Can't fault them at all. I don't think we were at our absolute best tonight. I think if we had been, we would have won the game. But I can't fault the commitment and what they're giving me, especially under the circumstances we're playing in. So that's why it's painful for me and for them, because I know how professional they are, and I know how much they want to achieve success.
Damien Spellman and George Falcon.
Eddie, when you look back over the 6 games, what do you think you and your players will have learned from the campaign?
Well, I think, yeah, I learned a lot, to be honest. Probably too much to say now. I think we went into the season knowing the power of the squad and how important that was going to be, especially with the intense games we had, and unfortunately we lost that power. And I think ultimately we've gone into Champions League games with very few options, even in terms of team selection, yet alone options from in-game changes you can make. And I think that's been that's definitely hurt us in a number of the games that we've had. That's not making excuses, that's just the reality. And even today I have to make 2 changes that I didn't really want to make due to injuries in running. Yeah, devastated with the result.
Has it made you hungry for more?
Well, absolutely. I think any time you don't achieve what you want, you have a setback, you have a disappointment, you have to use it as fuel, and that's very much always been my way. So the pain that you feel now is motivation for tomorrow. And yeah, we now have to focus on the Premier League and have to try and make sure we get our form in the Premier League as strong as we can. And for me, there's nothing but positive thoughts about the team and what they're giving. But of course, now we have to make sure we're consistent in the Premier League.
Okay, George Colkin and then Dominic Skirt.
Hi Eddie. Is sort of one of the biggest things to take from it that it is about small margins? It feels like there's been so many of those moments for the team.
Very much so. You even look at tonight's game and the save their goalkeeper makes it at 1-1, and how close that is to going in for us. And then, of course, we concede the first goal, which, as I said, we're disappointed with, having quickly looked at it. And then it was end to end, and it was basically a case of whose attacking players were going to put the best move together to win the game, and unfortunately that was them and not us. But I don't think in any game we've been really outplayed. And the players have been very close on a number of occasions to get. I mean, you go back to the Dortmund game here, that could have been very different. Tonight's game obviously could have been very different. But that's the elite competition you're in, and any mistake you make gets punished. So That's certainly stuff for us to reflect on.
Thanks, George. Dominic and then Lee Ryder.
Do you have any regrets at all from this Champions League campaign for you, yourself, and your players?
No, I said to the players after, I definitely don't think we can regret the effort that we've given. You look at the players today, how much they gave the match physically, and then I go through every game. Physically, they've given so much to the competition, to each game. So there's no part of me that thinks, well, the lads haven't really attacked it, committed. No. And so I think when you get that as a basic, then you accept what comes. Now, of course, you always have regrets in the sense that could you have done something different? Could you have played a different team? But they're normal football manager decisions, and I don't really live with them very long. It goes because you know that you can only make the decision that you think is right at the time, and then you have to accept the result.
And Joe Linton made his 150th appearance for the club tonight, marked it with a goal. Is he one player who didn't deserve to be on the losing side tonight?
Well, I think we had a few that didn't deserve to be on the losing team, and yeah, Joe scored a great goal. As always, he gave everything to the match physically. Off the ball, I thought he was excellent. So yeah, it's good to see him scoring consecutive games.
And just quickly, how's Kieran Trippier? He looked in some discomfort when he came on.
Yeah, I think he picked up something in the first half. I don't quite know what it is at this moment in time. He wanted to carry on at half time, but then he signalled that he couldn't continue.
Okay, Lee Ryder.
Eddie, there seemed to be still, despite defeat, despite what's happened, a lot of pride as you went round the pitch there, and the crowd certainly gave you a warm response.
Yeah, much appreciated from us. I think they would have seen what the players have given, so that they would have seen that. You've seen a Newcastle team giving everything under difficult circumstances, and their response and their love to the players is greatly appreciated in this moment because they need it. And I don't think they deserve any other emotion from anybody other than support and a good environment now to go and play attacking football and try and win some games. So I don't want to, from my perspective, a hangover of this. I think we have to learn from it and quickly put it away.
I mean, do you think they appreciated that you were always going for the win, you were never going to park the bus, take a point and settle for Europa?
Yeah, well, I think that's always been my way. And I can't change that mindset. So if there's a game to situation, we'll always try and be proactive rather than reactive, and hasn't done me too bad to this point. So I'd like to think that's the Newcastle way as well. That's the way this club's been traditionally built, and I think that's how we have to be, not just for today, but in the future.
Scott, you have
You say you don't want to hang over there, Eddie. I mean, how important is this next week going to be now in terms of Fulham at home here on Saturday, and then obviously Chelsea next week, just to try and ensure that, you know, what's been a difficult spell doesn't become anything more than that?
Yeah, I think that's, of course, a challenge for us. I think I said to the players after the game, this game stops for no one. So we have another game in 2 days' time. And the challenge isn't going to be easy. So Fulham are going to come here and make it very difficult for us. So absolutely we have to park it and adjust. And that'll be a difficult game, because of even more difficult than it's already going to be because of today's result. So I think we have to acknowledge that. And then, of course, we go to Chelsea, and as you say, the Premier League's unrelenting. The competitions we've been in this season is unrelenting, and but we've tried to embrace it. We've tried to use it as all positive for us to play football and do the thing that we love. And yes, we need a positive result.
And you referenced the two players that came off there. Anthony, how is he, and has he been kind of carrying something for a little while that you've been managing?
No, I wouldn't say a little while. No, today was. He said he had an awareness in his hamstring. We're not sure if it's an injury, because he could still sort of play, but he couldn't play to the level that, the very high level that he has played for a long time. So I think he had an issue full sprinting. But Anthony's a very positive lad. He thinks he's fine, but let's see.
Okay, just Luke, Martin and Craig to finish, please.
Do you have to protect the confidence of the players a little bit now?
Yeah, I definitely think that is absolutely part of my job. Confidence is a very, very fragile thing. Even when you're winning, it's a fragile thing. So the players need to believe how good we can be, how good we are, and I think this is a good test of that for us because of what's happened in the last week. Football's an amazing thing, isn't it? You go back 10 days, we just beat Manchester United on our best performance of the season, best performance in a long time, and 3 games later, I think very harshly today, we've had 3 defeats. So that's football.
Thanks, Luke. Martin, and then just Kieran, sorry. Martin.
Hi, Erik. Can you tell us through the pain of that second goal and what you felt when the final whistle went?
Yeah, the second goal, as I said, both teams were going for the win, so I remember Fabian breaking through with the ball and trying to play a 1-2 with Alex around the box, and we're probably very close to getting in and scoring ourselves, and then seconds later we're being counter-attacked on, and then they score. So you're playing AC Milan in the Champions League, that's you have to get everything right, and if you don't, you'll get punished. The pain doesn't really change. It's regardless of competition, pain doesn't choose, oh well, it's this competition, it's worse. It's the same. You've lost a game. You've exited a competition, or 2 competitions you're desperate to be in. So, but as I said, that always fuels me. I'm man enough to take it, because you have to then look to tomorrow and rebuild.
And following that on, does that fuel the hunger to go back into this competition at the first opportunity, which is next season?
Yeah, I'd love the opportunity to do that again, and I think that has to be our focus very quickly. I don't think we can look at anything other than we want to be there again, and we're still close enough in the league to do that and compete. So all these things happen for a reason. I'm a believer in that. This has been a really, really tough period for us. The players have been very, very resilient, because it would have been easy to not perform in the way that we are with the problems that we've had. So I think we have to look at that very positively, the response from the players, and acknowledge they're giving everything and try and back them and support them.
Just Kieran, getting to finish.
Eddie, is there quite an emotional dressing room?
I think it always is when you don't get the result you want, especially in the competition that we're in. I think you've seen what I've seen today. The players gave everything, and they were running end to end to try and score in the last period of the game, so they're physically out on their feet. But come tomorrow, a new day will come, and we'll have to look to the future.
Obviously, it was 20 years since the club were last in the Champions League. Does it reassure you in a way that the ambition from the very top is to get back here as well?
Yeah, the ambition's there, of course. The ambition's there from all of us, but it doesn't mean it will happen. We have to make that happen. We had an unbelievable season last year to create that, and I do feel forces have been against us this season. It's been, and it's not a sob story, but it's been to go to some of the grounds that we've gone to with the size of squad we've had, but I think it's been unprecedented. So that's why I want to sort of praise the players that have been there for us to the hilt, and be very positive with them.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you at 9 o'clock on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.